The Tuesday, January 3rd, 2022 City of Vandalia Council meeting is now called to order. We'll start with a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, you have minutes, our study session minutes and our council meeting minutes, items A through H. Does anyone have any comments or question about them? If not, they stand approved. We have no communications, petitions, or awards, nor do we have a public hearing. And that brings us to comments from interested citizens. So if anyone would like to make a comment, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and your comment. All right, we'll move on to the city manager's report, where we have a couple of information items and some action items.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. City offices will be closed Monday, January 16th for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The second meeting in January will be held on Tuesday, January 17th, with the study session starting at 5 p.m. One of the only items on the agenda for the study session will be the presentation of the Parks and Recreation Master Plan, and then the council meeting will start at 7 p.m. The Christmas tree recycling will take place at the Parks and Recreation, and Public Works are offering this. Residents can drop off trees at the sports complex until January 31st. Beginning the first week of January, residents are also able to dispose of Christmas trees by placing them at the curb for pickup by Rumpke on their regular trash day. I'm very pleased and proud to let you know that I got a call from Congressman Turner's office last week. The city has received and won a $1.33 million earmark for community project funding. That was passed in the omnibus bill. That is for right-of-way acquisition along Lightner, Dixie, and Northwoods. The purpose of the project is to accelerate the build-out of those improvements around the airport to send truck traffic very quickly to Northwoods and rather through the center of town. We've been working with the county engineer on this. The beautiful part for us is we were going to have to do our work, our portion of the project on Northwoods and on Dixie Drive. And because we're part of this project, we're actually going to be able to fund a substantial amount of the project through grant funding that we would have otherwise paid for ourselves. On Christmas Eve, I want to advise you that Recreation Center Facilities Coordinator Danny Dixon, a part-time employee, came in to stand up our warming center at the Vandalia Recreation Center. And that was a big deal. There were a lot of power outages throughout town. And so I was communicating with the fire chief and the Parks and Recreation director that night. Fortunately, just as we stood that up, the power came back on, and so we demobilized very quickly. You'll note that recently Public Works crews have been out and about. We had a sanitary sewer collapse. We had a lot of water main breaks. We had a historic cold weather event that followed a rain and presented some challenges. There were some comments about the ice and snow treatment. One of my first things, being from Northern Ohio, was I noticed the city lacking the capability in some ways to perform pre-treatment, brine mixtures, things of that nature. And so I've got Superintendent Ritchie working on some different methods that we more commonly used in Northern Ohio that I think could be useful. I'd also note that there were 13 calls during the cold weather event that related to frozen pipes and meters, water issues that folks had, lots of drifting, main valve leaking on Lancer and Goldleaf. The Attica water tower valve froze. They had to dethaw that. We had a vehicle get in an accident. It wasn't the fault of a City of Vandalia employee. There was a water main break on Raider, and two trucks went down for repairs, and so there was a big, perfect storm of events. We had 13 Public Works technicians who were available during that period, and they did a really good job. They worked really hard throughout the holidays. We put down 450 tons of salt. Of course, if you don't have friction and you've got, below freezing temperatures, it only works to some extent. I'll give you a quick update. The Justice Center fire suppression system, there were multiple breaks that were in that. On Christmas Day, I was on site at the Justice Center with many city employees who responded from several departments. It was a very challenging day. I know that IT manager Davey drove back from Mansfield. He was at a family event. The water suppression system, a 2-inch valve or a 2-inch joint broke and basically flooded down into the Justice Center, and IT manager shut down a bunch of the servers remotely. Of course, our 911 system got inundated with water. We immediately moved that over. Englewood has been gracious enough to let us use some of their apparatus for standing us back up. Sheriff Streck allowed us to operate temporarily out of the regional dispatch center. And so we'll move everybody back in. It'll either be on Thursday or Friday. We're kind of waiting on construction estimates, but we have gotten it dried out. And so the drying equipment moved out. That's pretty much all I want to say about that. We've got an insurance claim into Mavarma, and that's pretty much all I have. The one thing that I would remind you is that in the prior meeting, we discussed having Councilmember Farst be included in the action items for reappointment to the Vandalia Arts Council. And Your Honor, if it's okay, I'll move directly into action items.
Yes.
The NB action items, it's listed here, the representatives for MVRPC, the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission, and the Technical Committee, the First Suburbs Consortium, and then also the Montgomery County Community Improvement Corporation. In addition, there's the reappointment of a council representative to the Vandalia Development Corporation. The person who would be up for reappointment at this point is Councilmember Woods. And so with that, in addition, would be the reappointment of Councilmember Farst to the Vandalia Arts Council. And with your approval, if there are no changes, we just ask for a simple motion to make the appointments listed in the action item and also the Arts Council appointment in one fell swoop, if you are so inclined.
So moved.
Second.
All right, call the roll.
Councilmember Blakeslee?
Yes.
Councilmember Follett?
Yes.
Councilmember Farst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ayers?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Dave, you want
Mr. Manager, might we add a resolution 23-R04?
I'm
Yes.
sorry, it would need to be an action item as opposed to a resolution upon review of the charter. Resolution ordinances have to be introduced in writing.
All right.
I'm sorry, was not aware of that.
I would add an action item then to permit the city manager to enter into negotiations in lieu of litigation with Julie Trick.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Farst to authorize the city manager to enter into negotiations in lieu of litigation with Miss Julie Trick. Call the roll.
Councilmember Woods? I'm sorry, Councilmember Follett?
Just for clarification, is this to amend the agenda or is this the action?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's an action item. So
It's an action item to It's not to amend the agenda, it's just another action item similar to what we did with the Arts Committee.
Gotcha. No.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ayers?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
No.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
No, and the motion carries 4-3. Okay. All right, and that brings us to, we have no old business, and that brings us to our first resolution, that being Resolution 23-R-01. Mr. McDonald, by title only.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of self-contained breathing apparatus and declaring the current equipment being replaced as surplus property.
Thank you. Mr. Wendt?
Thank you, Your Honor. The Division of Fire was awarded an Assistance to Firefighters grant in the amount of $225,567. This is a match grant. The city's original match was $11,278.38, making the total project $236,845.36. Division of Fire was preparing the SCBA project. FEMA had cut $85,000 from the original request, began to update pricing. That's become a little bit more expensive, about $40,630, bringing the city's match to $52,000. The total cost of the project is now $277,472.77. I'd request that City Council amend and increase the city's match, waiving formal bidding, and allow the city to enter into a purchase agreement with Atlantic Emergency Solutions using the Houston-Galveston Area Council's group purchasing plan. The city of Vandalia is a member of this plan. And purchase a self-contained breathing apparatus and associated equipment/gear at the proposed amount of $277,472.77. And I would just point out, this is a mandated purchase, and so you have to buy SCBA every so often to protect firefighters. You're required to do this to have a fire department, and so even though it costs more, we could be paying it out of pocket, but the fire division was able to secure that $225,000 grant to offset that, and that's still a win.
All right, thank you. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve Resolution 23R01.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Blakesley and a second by Councilman Fairst to approve Resolution 23-R-01. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ayers?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Follett?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have Resolution 23-R-02.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of Lion Apparel fire protective clothing sets from Phoenix Safety Outfitters at a price of $48,749.35.
Thank you. Mr. Wendt?
Thank you, Your Honor. The Division of Fire is requesting to be able to purchase protective clothing. We presented that the last meeting, during the workshop at the prior meeting, to assist us in getting equipment ordered, manufactured, delivered, and avoid potential price increase. Division of Fire requests City Council's permission to purchase 13 sets of firefighter protective clothing. That's helmet, hood, gloves, coat, pants, and boots. During the regular City Council meeting tonight, this is Resolution 23R02. We'd like to waive formal bidding and award the project to Lion Apparel through their dealer and local Vandalia First Company. The total cost of the project is $48,749.35.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 23-R-02.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Ayers and a second by Councilman Blakesley to approve Resolution 23-R-02 as presented. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Ayers?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Follak?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have Resolution 22-R-03.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an economic development government equity agreement with the Montgomery County Office of Economic Development regarding the Trust Corps USA project and to enter into an EDGE agreement with the EDGE grant recipient.
Thank you. Mr. Wendt.
Thank you, Your Honor. On December 6, 2022, the Board of County Commissioners approved a $162,000 Economic Development Government Equity Grant for Trust Corps USA Incorporated. The resolution will authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with Montgomery County and Trust Corps USA, Inc. regarding the grant funds.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve Resolution 23-R-03 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Follak and a second by Councilman Blakesley to approve Resolution 23-R-03 as presented. Are there any comments from council? Call the roll.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Follak?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ayers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. We have no ordinances in their first or second reading, nor do we have any emergency ordinances, and that brings us to reports from boards and commissions, where we have the City of Vandalia Bicycle Advisory Committee minutes of October 17th. Are there any comments? All right. And that brings us to council comments. We'll start with Mr. McDonald. Mr. Wendt.
Happy New Year!
All right. That's all, huh? All right, Councilwoman Woods.
Just a happy, safe, and productive New Year to everybody.
Thank you. Councilman Blakesley?
It's already been mentioned about all the happenings in December, weather-related, the sprinkler breaks, the power outage, the sewer water breaks, the snow removal. Just appreciate all the employees and staff that were involved with all these, and really proud and just appreciate everything that they've done in the time of need and emergencies and give up time with family. I know what that's like, especially on the emergency side of things. And I think that's why I appreciate it even more. To the fact, as we're driving down through town, my wife with me, and she goes, you know, those guys really work hard, and really she appreciated the same thing because she knows what they give up to their family to be out there to repair the sewers, fix the pipes, and that type of thing for the citizens of Vandalia. And just, again, just really appreciate that.
All right, thank you. Councilman Follak?
Just to echo Councilman Blakesley's comments regarding staff's sacrifices and hard work over the holidays with everything that was on their plate. And then also just a welcome back and welcome home to Public Works Technician Matt Bryce, who has returned from his deployment. So we're glad that he is back and working again here in the city. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Fairst?
Echo some of the same, but I want to appreciate Mr. Wendt's communication with us. I think that's how we know that our staff is out fixing everything, and it makes you a little uncomfortable sitting home in your nice warm house, and you know our guys are out working in that freezing, just horrible weather. So thank you very much for that, and that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilman Ayers?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
I had a little different take. I didn't feel uncomfortable knowing that those poor guys were out in 9 below zero. I was happy to be in the house, but I would like to echo everybody else's comments. The city, Parks and Rec, Service Department, everybody pitched in, and we had a safe and happy holiday, largely because of their efforts.
All right, thank you. And not to be redundant, I would also like to thank our staff for all the hard work they've done here over the last couple of weeks. And also, I'm looking forward to a productive 2023. I'm excited about everything that the city's got in the works right now, and I think it's going to be a good year for the city of Vandalia. It's recommended that council enter into executive session to consider the employment or compensation of a public employee. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Lewis and a second by Councilman Bollock. Call the roll?
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Follak?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ayers?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, the motion carries 7-0.